Hello and welcome to BusyWorksBeats.com. Today we continue the artist series, and this request is from music producer 19. He asked for Juice Wrld style. So today I'm going to show you guys how I would go about it. Firstly, we're going to go to Suno because we're going to chop up a guitar riff from the AI. So we're going to, because I don't have Splice. So let's go to Suno, let's go to Create, and I'll show you guys how to create like a certain style. So firstly, you want to think of rhyme words. So Juice Wrld would say, now we're not going to sample a vocal so much, but Juice Wrld would say things like, battle in my head. Okay, so let's just put the rhyme words and then the keywords. So head, battle in my head, da, 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 da. All the things that I said, something like that. So let's start adding in the words before it. Too late, there's a battle in my head. Can't take back all the things that I said. One way to come up is... All right, so let's think of some rhymes here. I'm going to pause the video so I can think of rhymes. Give me a sec, guys. So for this one, I just rhymed the same thing. Now for the style, we're going to put alternative emo rock because we want a guitar-based melody, okay? So we don't need this many keywords, but the thing I love about Suno is it spits out stuff pretty quickly. All right, so let's just call this test emo, but we definitely want the keywords emo or alternative rock in there so that we get that kind of picked guitar melody. Okay, so I'm going to change out some of these keywords. So instead of alternative, let's just type emo rock. And the next one here, we're just going to put emo rock and not tell it that we want guitar so that we get three different results here. So again, let's pause this video until these load up. They don't take very long though. All right, so a lot of like pro producers are using Suno. They're just not telling anybody because they're trying to keep it under wraps. But basically, here's the first song. Too late, there's a battle in my head. Now, this is more angst upbeat. So because it's so muted, we're going to move to a more long, elongated, plucked melody, picked melody, like right here. So this is the style I was looking for. Let's download this as a wave. Again, I'm on the pro plan.
There's a battle in my head. I can't take back
The main thing that makes Juice Wrld stuff Juice Wrld is that he approached it with a rock mentality, but then he had trap drums. So that's basically what it is. It's rock with different drums. Instead of do-do-ch, do-do-ch, it's boom, boom, boom. You know, it's heavy trap drums.
evil things.
So that's the only real difference is the drum. This might be a little too heavy for Juice Wrld, but let's try it. That's pretty heavy in terms of drums. Now this is a dope vibe too, even though it might not be it. Yeah, that's a dope riff right there. So let's run this back just so you guys get an idea. So all you really need is a beginning. Usually the beginning has a solo guitar. That's all we need is that small little loop. All right, so that works. Also too, you want to make sure to like your record so you remember which ones, that you actually liked. It's a very good habit.
Too late.
Now this one, I could already just tell that wasn't gonna give us the vibe.
Too late. There's a battle in.
That one's a little, just the way it goes about the melody is different. So now we have the starting material. Let's go into FL Studio and let's go to our downloads folder, open this up and start dragging in samples. So I think those are called, we'll just grab one at a time here. All right, so now we have the sample. Let's go to song mode. Let's save this project file as well so that we don't lose any information here. All right, so now we have the sample in here. We need to just chop out the part that we want. So we're not worried about the metronome just yet. I like that melody, but that one it was cool. I just think the other one is better. So let's open up the other melodies here. Test, I think it was this one. And then we're just gonna chop right at that transient right there. All right, so now we have the loop we want. We don't need anything else. Now, if you guys wanna get complex with it, you could take the rest of the loop. If you want to resolve the melody, you could take that and remove the drums. I'll show you guys the whole process. All right, so anyway, firstly, we need to make this first chop. Let's go in the top left here and make this unique as a sample. This will save just this file as just this audio as its own file so that we can manipulate the parameters by itself without affecting the rest of the song. So now we need to count the bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1. I don't think we need the rest actually. So I think we need to build off this. Now the tricky part is that because it's a sample, there's no way for us to add a guitar that sounds like this guitar unless you get lucky and have the same exact sound in your VST library. So because this is a real instrument with a performance element, we have to learn how to flip this so that it feels longer than what it is. It's only technically 2 bars. And what we need to do is start lining up these transients. So what I did, which I didn't really explain, is double click, go to mode, stretch mode. And we need to count the music out. So it's 2 bars. So we're going to right click here, go to 2 bars, or just left click and drag until it locks to the grid. Okay, so now we have just a general length of the sample. Now there's a gap in the beginning here, so we need to compensate for that gap. So what I'm going to do is change the snap to grid to something smaller, like 1/2 beat. And this will help me line up the audio a little bit better. All right, so let's grab the slip tool, hit Alt, and then line up more of these transients. That's not a perfect loop because we have to re-stretch it. So anyway, let's just make some edits. I'll just show you guys what I'm doing. Let's hit Alt, right click to get rid of the ending. And now we need to go to the top left here where it says audio clips, grab this tiny button here. This is stretch audio, hit Alt, and then manually time stretch it. Now this beginning, I'd argue we don't need this. So let's hit Alt, right click to get rid of that little part in the beginning. So now we need to keep time stretching the end until it. Now also too, you can make this unique as its own sample so that we're not looking at those parts we chopped off. We should be able to double click here and right click to go back to 2 bars. Or 4 bars in this case of, all right, so there we have it. So now it time stretches the entire thing. A little tedious, but. All right, so now we have that looping and now we can build off of this. So we have to ask, what is this melody? It's rhythm, okay? It's technically harmony because it's playing multiple notes. And I guess we could say it's top line. Now, technically the top line is gonna be the actual singer, but in this case, we'll just say it's the top line. So now we have 3 of the 4 components of melody or composition. Let's change our snap to grid back to a bar. Let's hit Control B to latch paste this all the way through the project. Highlight it, hit Control B to latch paste. Okay, now we can add our own music over top. Now, for Juice WRLD stuff, it's usually just guitar, drums. There's nothing else added. Let's see what we can find here. So let's go to our blueprint at busyworksbeats.com/blueprint. Here we have over 3,200 sounds. Let's go to where it says drum kits and let's start picking the 808 that fits this vibe. Now every 808 is not meant to be in every song. So let's use this altered 808 called a DJ Spans. It's basically, I edited the DJ Spins 808. Now this is a tonal 808 and it's good for long notes, okay? Whereas the hard hitter 808 is better for shorter notes like a kick drum. So we need to figure out the key of the sample. Let's go to our channel rack and let's open up a plugin called Scalar 2. I'd recommend you guys grab this plugin. They're on Scalar 3 now, but Scalar 2 to me is the best intuitive interface. All right, so we need to listen to the loop and play the notes we hear in the sample. And also hit this record button. So we're in the key of G minor. This sample is in the key of G minor. I'm not sure if Suno, if we typed in like, hey, we want to sample in E minor or F minor, I'm not sure it actually listens to that, but if it does, try that in your prompt too, I meant to say. So Juice WRLD produces in F sharp minor, F minor, G sharp minor. It's basically around F or G minor. E minor is a little more of his like slower stuff, or just Travis Scott and his style stuff is more slowed in E minor. So, all right, now let's create now because we have the melody, we're trying to basically harmonize the melody with the bass. So let's figure out the root note here. So it's pretty much 3 notes I'm going to play. So let's record this in. All right, so I was trying to like improv an octave there, but I didn't pick the right note. So let's go back and fix these notes. Let's hit Control up so we can actually hear the tone. Let's also turn down the melody so we can really just hear the power of the 808. Let's double click on the melody. Let's rename this. Let's call it Melody. And let's hit Control L, send it to the mixer so that we can turn it down. Hear the 808 notes. So here I'm at the hit D sharp. No. I guess it was C. Never mind. This note was wrong, so it should be dun 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 dun. So hold on. There we go. All right, so now let's hit Control down to pull that back down an octave. And now the 808 has a tail to it, longer tail. So I'm doing the 808 first. I've noticed Juice WRLD stuff is very like 808. The 808 has nothing competing with it. So that's why I'm starting with the 808. Let's go back to our kit. I've also noticed too, they don't really pair kicks with the 808 for a Juice WRLD style. So it just depends on what song you're referencing, but most of the time it's just the 808 by itself. Let's go to, in the Blueprint kit as a bonus, for the people who get the XL version, we have a go-to drums kit. We're gonna add these drums in here. Is that a clap? Where is it at? Clap. To Control L. So we're gonna put the clap on the 2 and the 7. Now here is where we're gonna start messing with the metronome, the tempo. So we're putting the clap on the 3 and the 7. 1, turn the metronome on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's where the clap goes for trap. Now let me show you guys technically, okay. So basically in Logic Pro, what you could do is quantize audio. In FL Studio, I think you can do it, but it doesn't always work. Let's at least try it before we say it's not gonna work here. All right, so we need to, I think if we double click the double click the audio, right click, and then open in Time Warper. Okay, and then we need to change the snap to grid here to 1, this is always where I get messed up. Let's go to 1/8 beat. And let's zoom in. I don't know if we can zoom in on here. So I think 1/8 beat. So I'm looking at these vertical lines. The only issue I have with new time is it's very difficult to understand what we're actually doing in the plugin because there's no like understanding of like where we are in time. It's just like a random grid. So that's why I don't really use it too much. And anyhow, so change the snap to grid to 1/8 beat. And now we need to quantize this. I think there's a function in here. If we go to edit, and then we go to quantize time. Okay, now this should fix it, but again, it's hard to tell because let's hit this button here where it says slave playback to host. This means when we hit play up here, this will play. But it's tricky because we're listening to the original audio. how it just kind of is not the bounce. Okay, so that's why I said sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. Let's switch the detection mode here, see if that changes anything. And if it doesn't, we're not going to obsess about it. Now this may be because the actual sample got time stretched. So this is why I said this is so convoluted. Let's send this to the playlist and see if this actually does anything. Okay, so that might just be because it's not time stretched. All right, so let's double click, go to mode, stretch mode, and then right click, change it to 4 bars. And let's turn off the new time. So let's compare that rhythm with this one. And that one has a little more emotion to it, but so again, that workflow is not the greatest. It's very difficult to understand what the heck's happening, as you guys just saw. So only because I knew what was happening that I know how to just kind of take the results. But for the average person, that's going to be very difficult. That's why I don't recommend that workflow. Let's call this melody guitar quantized. All right, so that we know what's what. So we'll compare over time the quantized versus the unquantized. There we go. So let's. All right, so I do like the quantized version. However, it's a little fast. So I'm gonna have to nudge this off the grid just a little bit. And I can visually see there's like pointy areas here. I'm just gonna hit Alt and drag it to the right. And now you can start to hear that small difference in time. The second loop feels very loose. That's how important timing is. Okay, so all right, so now we need a hi-hat so that the ear is not listening for the rhythm of the guitar to determine time. All right, so this hi-hat is inside of the Blueprint XL as well. Let's go to pattern. Now we're just going to do really basic hi-hats for this one. Just now we're going to use a secondary hi-hat track to create all the change ups. So let's grab a whole different hi-hat. Let's go to the Blueprint. Let's go inside the kits here. Let's grab a whole different hi-hat. Hit Control L. Now we're just going to add little change ups. Let's record this in. Now we have those. We can glitch certain hi-hats. So just highlight it, hit Alt U to chop it up into pieces. Now for Juice WRLD, you can get away with like glitchier hi-hats, meaning faster. So just gonna add glitches to change it up over time. So the guitar is still a little off in terms of timing. What I usually do, but we'll turn it into more of a Drake vibe, but let's try this too. Let's right click and consolidate the track, because you have to, when you time stretch audio, you have to consolidate it again so that the time stretch information is actually in the audio. So let's consolidate this from time selection. So now basically, if I were to, basically when you open this up in Fruity Slicer, it won't need to be altered. So let's right click, open up in Fruity Slicer. If you do it the other way without time stretching again, without consolidating again inside of Fruity Slicer, it will sound off beat. So let's go here to beat. And let's go to the MIDI in the channel rack, hit Control X, and we need to put this on its own pattern so that it's separate. So now we can control a little bit more of the groove because we chopped up the audio into pieces. This is one way to do it a little more. Not the greatest way, however. You hear that latency. So I'm going to add some decay curvature to add like a truncation to it so it bounces a little bit more. And this is what I do whenever the guitar or the musical element is just not like in the right pocket, especially in FL Studio. It's just too many steps to get it to sit in the pocket, whereas other DAWs have time warping and all this. But FL just is kind of behind in that regard. All right, now let's start leveling, turning stuff down. All right, so now I'm going to address the actual sonic characteristics of the guitar. So firstly, the side image of the guitar is a little wide. I'm just going to use my multi-band compressor that can control the side information. Just pull it a little more mono. It's just too wide. And then we can give a reverb to fill in some of that gap. I'm just going to slap reverb directly on the channel. Rarely do I do this, but for this, I'm just being lazy here. Let's turn the reverb up. All right, so just to show you guys, here's before. And then here's with the reverb. Let's also compress this a little bit. Let's see if we can get a unique sound out of this by compressing it. So here, these steps aren't to be followed. It's really just sound design that I'm doing right now. So let's do before and after. Here's before. Here's after. Now it feels like the guitar has a presence there. It's not just there kind of floating around. Now let's add our bounce snares. Okay, so we have our main clap, but we still need bouncy snares. So let's go back to our go-to drum kit and add this little snare right here. Let's hit Control L. And then we're just gonna add clap, clap in between. Now it's just about tightening up the percussion rhythm. We could probably lower some of the glitches in the hi-hat. So another trick I like to do to grab the ear a little bit more with the rhythmic stuff is to go into the function settings here, miscellaneous settings, the wrench tool. Go to the delay and just mess with this timing and the feed knob just to create little ear candy. And we could turn down the feed level. So now we just got to get this stereo image right, because right now the guitar makes this beat feel like it's leaning. So let's pull this more mono. And now I'm going to see if I can add little touches of guitar. So I'm just going to use a simple Stratocaster. It's not going to be the same exact tone, but you guys can mess with the actual cabinets and amps inside this plugin. I'm going to mess with guitar rig and all types of stuff. So we're just moving quickly here just to add little guitar stuff. So I'm just trying to get the music right. So that's what I hear is the G and D. We're just playing fifths here. Now let's give it a more aggressive tone by going into different amp. Alright, so as you guys can hear, we're just adding little ear candy stuff, and then we'll run this through reverbs and delays to make it bigger. So I'm just adding little riffs. I'm cloning the guitar so I can play a higher octave without interfering with the notes of the first guitar. Gotta figure out why this guitar is out of tune. This is not in key. So okay, that's why. All right, so that came out well. It's just there's so many little things we gotta do for guitar. So let's go back to the pitch range here and make sure the pitch wheel is actually working, because I didn't hear the pitch wobble effect. I guess it was working. Maybe I just didn't hear it. Let's run that back though. So now we have those, basically the main guitar is the harmony, and then the second one is more of a top line expressive layer. So I'm going to, again, move a little bit quicker here because we have to add creative effects here, but Sound Toys has great plugins for creative effects. I forgot to have this guitar plugin called Archetype Petrucci. This was a good one. So it's not only a delay and a reverb, it's also like a granulizer. So it's adding these little details. Also, too, I want to mess with the transpose knob. So again, this is adding all that like side detail. So we took away from the main guitar, taking up all the space, to now we're adding our own side information with this guitar stuff. Just gonna turn it down though so it doesn't overtake the track. But it sounds really dope. Now let's get the bass to sit a little higher in the mix. And let's start grouping our tracks here to a beat mix. So firstly, before I start cranking the bass, let's just run it through a couple plugins here. So hopefully you guys can see how fun it is when you guys can understand the process. All right, so my favorite technique is to go here to the drop down, go to where it says tube compressor, turn this up, This is like Playboy Cardi type of ripple. Sometimes it's good, but I might just apply this just to the 808, not the entire track, because it just kind of destroys some of the movement. So let's add this just to the 808. This may or may not work on just the 808 though. Let's try. I think in order for this to truly work, it has to have all the frequencies of everything, and that creates that ripple. Because by itself, the 808 doesn't create that effect. Let's try to retone this just to see what happens. Definitely adds character to the sound. We're just adding 60 hertz to the body of the sound, the sustain. But I feel like the track needs its own like grit, so let's figure out a plugin that adds its own grit. So we're getting some grit out of it here. So we're just gonna reset these to 0 or close to 0. So we're not like adding volume. And we're still getting a little bit of low end there. So let's run through one of my favorite plugins to kind of address a lot of the inconsistencies of a track. I'm just going to move through this. It's not a tutorial on this plugin because it does a lot, but let's see what kind of tone we can get out of it. So we're basically focusing on the mids, compressing the mids, and it makes the side feel bigger. But sometimes the side gets too big, so we just got to monitor how wide the track is. I also like the soft clipper in here. And let's also try one more plugin here for aggression. I don't think we need too much more aggression, but the airsoft clipper does a nice job. Yeah, this mode right here, parabolic, this sounds perfect for this song. Sometimes my gold clip just glitches, so let's see if this makes a difference anyway. So I don't know why that's tripping. Maybe it's a sample rate thing. So let's up the buffer length just for now. So I know the sound is pumping, but that's the sound I want for this track. right, so now you just need lyrics for this track. So I'm going to take some time to write some lyrics and add the vocal into this track using some AI vocal changers. All right, so now we got the 3 recordings. We didn't run it through the AI voice changer yet. I just want you guys to hear the tonality. So one's panned the original. Here's the original melody. Let me run this real quick with the other tracks, just so you guys understand the reference and then what the reference turned into. So here's the reference channel. So basically I had to turn mumble into words. So I wrote some words and then recorded 1, 2, 3 tracks. We're going to get rid of, I think, 2 of these. I forget why I muted the first one. I think this one was just a bad take. But this 3 here, we're going to pan them left, right, center. So this one is panned to the left, hard left. This one's panned middle. Third one's panned, it should be panned to the right. I forgot to pan it. So let's pan it now. And we just got to make sure these are the tracks we actually want. I don't think that's the track I actually wanted. Oh, that's the reference. That's why.
Too late to turn back the hands of a lifetime. In high demand, I'm the man, yeah, it's our time. Walking through sand, but it's heartbreak on my mind. At it again, yeah, I'm at it again.
So I might keep the original vocals in here just because like it's a good supportive. You want to have contrast in your vocal, and sometimes when I transform it to the AI, it just adds a little bit less clarity. So I'm going to keep my original vocal in here as like a backing support.
Time, too late to turn back the hands of a lifetime. In high demand, I'm the man, yeah, it's our time. Walking through sand, but it's heartbreak on my mind. At it again, yeah, I'm at it again. Too late to turn back the hands of a lifetime. Left me on red, but when is it the right time? At it again, my emotions are flatline. Too late to stress, I'm depressed, it's the end. Yeah, we all back, too many unanswered questions in my head, looking for the real smoke. They don't want no problems, I'ma get it started. They don't want no problems. It's just too late to apologize.
Now I might separate that part out, this part, for a different vocal. So I think I'm going to actually do that. So we have a lot of vocal processing to do. So what I'll do is go into the program, run these vocals through it, and try to get a Wrld take per each. So we have to run 6 tracks here through different vocal things. So this is going to take a while. So we'll see the results next. All right, so we got a rough mix, not a crazy mix, just a rough mix. Let's play this from the beginning here.
Time, too late to turn back. Time, too late to turn back the hands of a lifetime. In high demand, I'm the man, yeah, it's our time. Walking through sand, but it's heartbreak on my mind. At it again, yeah, I'm at it again. Too late to turn back the hands of a lifetime. Left me on red, but when is it the right time? At it again, my emotions are flatline. Too late to stress, I'm depressed, it's the end. Yeah, we all back, too many unanswered questions in my head, looking for the real smoke. They don't want no problems, I'ma get it started. They don't want no problems. It's just too late to apologize. It's just too late to apologize. It's just too late to apologize. Yeah, it's too late. Too late to turn back the hands of a lifetime. In hide the man, I'm the man, yeah, it's our time. Walking through sand, but it's heartbreak on my mind. At it again, yeah, I'm at it again. Too late to turn back the hands of all our time. Left me on red, but when is it the right time? At it again, my emotions are flatline. Too late to stress, I'm depressed, it's the air. Yeah, we all back, too many unanswered questions in my head. Looking for the real smoke, they don't want no problems. I'ma get it started, they don't want no problems. It's just too late to apologize. It's just too late to apologize. It's just too late to apologize. Yeah, it's too late. Too late to apologize. It's just too late to apologize. It's just too late to apologize. Yeah, it's too late.
All right, let's run this one more time.
Too late to Too late to turn back the hands of all our time. And hide the man, I'm the man, yeah, it's our time. Walking through sand, but it's heartbreak on my mind. At it again, yeah, I'm at it again. Too late to turn back the hands of all our time. Left me on red, but when is it the right time? At it again, my emotions are flatline. Too late to stress, I'm depressed, it's the air. Yeah, we all back, too many unanswered questions in my head. Looking for the real smoke, they don't want no problems. I'ma get it started, they don't want no problems. It's just too late to apologize. It's just too late to apologize. It's just too late to apologize. Yeah, it's too late. Turn back the hands of all our time. And hide the man, I'm the man, yeah, it's our time. Walking through sand, but it's heartbreak on my mind. At it again, yeah, I'm at it again. Too late to turn back the hands of all our time. Left me on red, but when is it the right time? At it again, my emotions are flatline. Too late to stress, I'm depressed, it's the air. Yeah, we all back, too many unanswered questions in my head. Looking for the real smoke, they don't want no problems. I'ma get it started, they don't want no problems. It's just too late to apologize. It's just too late to apologize. It's just too late to apologize. Yeah, it's too late.
All right, so that is the idea I had. If I produce for Wrld, let's continue the series. Let me know which artists you guys want me to cover below. And thank you for watching. It's Game from BusyWorksBeats.com. Peace out, guys. Subscribe if you're new. If you want to learn how to make beats like the pros, go to BusyWorksBeats.com/premium. I'll leave a link below. Peace out, guys.